Did you go to art school?
I went to a state university and jumped right in and majored in art. Part of it was a really awesome mentor, Donnie Menon, who was my major professor, kind of in foundations, like really encouraged me and like saw that I had this kind of understanding of three-dimensional space. Really just gave me that like a really great relationship with somebody that was interested in helping me develop as an artist. And
what's three-dimensional?
Well, the space we live in. I mean, that's everything is three-dimensional, really. I mean, there's no way to get around it. Which I try to explain. I teach once in a while, and I'll teach 3D design, and I try to explain these are objects. I'm an object. This is space. This is space we're interacting in. And this is the space between you, and this is the space between you and the wall, and that all exists. And trying to get students to understand that is always a very interesting thing because our training isn't always about that. Our training in the educational system is so much about like pen and paper, and this like kind of translating ideas into flat surfaces. So.
Is it right left?
I don't know. I don't know if I buy into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I think to me it's like everything is kind of like a whole. It's like I mean, I think certain people excel more in one realm or the other, like the analytical versus the creative, but I don't think they're necessarily separate. I think it's more how we divide them culturally, like that they are separate things in certain systems that we participate in. But I think in our brain, it's actually they can be complementary. They can be the same things at times.
Have you ever been to Las Vegas before?
No, this is my first trip to Vegas and Nevada in general. Like I've been to every surrounding state, but except for New Mexico and Nevada. Everywhere else but here. So.
What do you think of Las Vegas?
Well, I mostly have seen this gallery and inside of a hotel room where I've been folding paper at night. So, but I do like I'll walk around a little bit at night before I go to bed, and I walk around in the morning, and it really is kind of just like a regular town. It doesn't seem. I mean, I haven't been down on the Strip, but it just seems like okay, these are like normal people going to work, doing stuff, and it has this kind of little bit of Carnival Disneyland experience mixed in with it from what I've seen so far.
So a lot of your artwork that's in the Contemporary Art Center right now is a folded product. How did you develop that product? How did you come up with that idea?
Well, I've been working on these paper pieces for about 4 years, and when I started making these, they were sewn up. They were multiple pieces of paper sewn together into three-dimensional forms that then I stacked and packaged and transported, and like really it became like the making process was so different than the rest of it. It was like these two different realms of the making and the installing, and so it's like trying to figure out like, okay, how can I do this without creating that kind of separation and then all of the just like trouble of trying to I mean, you're talking about like huge volumes transporting that, and so I did a residency at Atelier Rondo in Austria last summer, and while I was there, I just played around with paper and I was figuring out paper forms to like that could be made out of just a single sheet of paper, and that's what I've been doing since then. Like, I've done I don't know how many paper pieces since then.
So you have other forms. You make this fold or paper?
Or? With paper, I've made up other forms. But I also, I mean, I don't. It's like my media isn't paper. My media is space, and also interactions. That's one of the things that interests me about the making process is that, like coming to the Contemporary Art Center in Las Vegas, this was all built by this participation from the arts community here. And so those interactions are interesting to me and give the work a different meaning in some ways that is sort of like old-fashioned like quilting bee.
Right.
People come together, they come together around this making process, they don't need to. Like, is a quilting, you can sit at home and make a quilt by yourself.
Okay.
But then that social interaction of that in that process becomes what's really important.
Is that the purpose of your
That's part of the purpose. The other part of it is that I am an artist and I'm interested in visual phenomena, and I'm really interested in creating things that people are visually interested in looking at. So it's that balance, like trying to blend them together, and that's what really I always do all of these projects as experiments, because it's like, how is this going to turn out? Because it does require some letting go by me. Like, I can't like sit there and necessarily define every action every person is doing. So it's being open to that process.
Are all of your installs with paper related to clouds?
Well, the clouds are it's kind of a generic theme that's broader based. So it's based on the idea of visual phenomena in nature, and clouds are a point of departure. So and part of that is the process of understanding, or how understanding changes over time. So that, like, when we're our ability to look deeper into the physical world has changed our perceptions of how the physical world is made and interacts. So, like when Turner was painting clouds, he was painting these fluffy things in the sky, but now, like, as time has gone by, our understanding of what the physical nature of these things are very different. So it's like they're ice crystals, and they're water droplets, and they're suspended in the sky for all these reasons that have to do with physics and how cycles work around the world. So our information changes as we learn how to look at things more deeply. And I think one of the roles of an artist is it's about looking at our world and being both for the other side of our existence in the world right now, which is there's the other side is there's a lot of negative things. There's a lot of, like, this addiction to what is negative. Yeah.
Anything else you need to add?